Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in the Epic Handbook from 3rd edition D&D for this video. We are going to look at the existing epic spells out of the Epic Handbook. There should be, unless my count's wrong, about 46 epic spells. I'm going to film all the spells in order, so I shouldn't miss any. So if I am wrong, you'll have the correct amount uploaded. The spell we are going to look at today is the Crown of Vermin. So we'll read in the basic details that all the spells have, except for these have a spellcraft DC to cast them. That'll be included in here. How to develop it, so how to learn this spell. And then there'll be a big section where they describe how the spell actually works. So, Conjuration, Summoning, Crown of Vermin. Spellcraft DC is 56. So if you want to be able to cast it easily, you're going to need to have a 46 in your spellcraft, and then you take 10. You can't take 20 on these spellcraft checks, but you can take 10. So that said, if you didn't want to have an easy time of it, you could try to cast it at a lower DC, but you wouldn't want to go too low because you don't want to have it only work on a natural 20 because it's a 5% chance that you roll that. Just something to keep in mind. Components, verbal and somatic to cast. Casting time, 1 minute, so it'll take 10 rounds to cast it. Range is personal, so it affects you. Effect, aura of 1,000 insects that surrounds you in a 10-foot radius spread. So, centered on you, out to 10 feet, so 2 squares out from you, is this aura of insects, okay? Duration is 20 rounds. So it'll last 2 minutes. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, no. To develop this spell, to learn this spell, requires 504,000 gold pieces, 11 days, 20,160 experience points. So you do lose 20,160 experience points to make this spell. The following spell seeds are needed to make this spell. Summon, which is a DC 14, and Fortify, which is a DC 17. So those are added together to start building up the DC for the spellcraft. So you're looking at a 20, a 31 to start with. Factors. These factors modify the spell in other ways and mess with the DCs, whether they boost it or decrease it for the spellcraft check. Summon vermin mass instead of one creature. It's an ad hoc, so it's a kind of a judgment. Plus 13 to the DC. Grant damage reduction 1 to a plus 6 weapon. Plus 15 to the DC. A plus 6 weapon is a plus 6 magical bonus to attack and damage. Without that plus 6, it is not considered an epic weapon. And if it's higher than a plus 6, it automatically qualifies and ignores the damage reduction. Allow mass to move at your speed, ad hoc plus 2 to the DC. Perfect control of vermin, ad hoc plus 2 to the DC. Mitigating factor, so this is to reduce the DC. Change range to personal, and that subtracts 2 from the DC. If you wanted a longer casting time, you could reduce the DC further too, but we'll look at those rules after all the spells. I'll go over how to create a spell because they'll have those rules in there. So now let's read the actual details of the spell. When you don a Crown of Vermin, 1,000 venomous, biting and stinging spiders, scorpions, beetles, and centipedes apparently erupt from the very air around you. This swarm forms a living aura around you to a radius of 10 feet. You are immune to your own Crown of Vermin. The swarm goes where you go at your speed, even if you take to the air or water, though water drowns the vermin after 1 full round of immersion. Unless the spell is cast underwater, in which case, aquatic or marine vermin answer the call and cannot leave the water. Each vermin in the Crown of Vermin bites a creature who enters the area occupied by the effect, or you force the effect into an area occupied by another creature for 1 point of damage, and then dies. Each victim takes enough points of damage to kill it, destroying that member of the vermin in the process. Victims get a reflex saving throw each round to avoid the full press, and if successful, take only 10d10 bites and 10d10 points of damage. A total of 1,000 points of damage can be dealt to those who fall prey to the crown of vermin. Ouch. The vermin have damage reduction 1 to a +6 magical weapon, allowing them to affect creatures with high damage reduction. Likewise, the vermin are slightly more resistant to normal damage. If there aren't enough vermin to kill all the creatures in the spell's effect, the creature with the fewest hit points is affected first, then the creature with the second fewest hit points, and so on. After all creatures that can be killed have been killed, any remaining damage is distributed among the survivors equally. You have utter control over the vermin in your area, and you can force them into areas that would normally deter common vermin. You can completely suppress your vermin aura as a free action so that no vermin are visible at all. The time that vermin are suppressed does not count towards the spell's duration. So if you suppress it, it does not count against you on how long you can have it active. That's pretty cool. Alternatively, you can roughly shape and move the vermin in any fashion you desire within the limits of the 10-foot radius spread as a move equivalent action. For example, you could leave a corridor within the area free of vermin, or give a functional or fanciful shape to the mass. The vermin cannot be wrested from your control through any means. The vermin make all saving throws to avoid damage effects using your base saving throw bonuses. They gain your spell resistance, if any, and they get saving throws against spells that would otherwise automatically slay vermin. You can see through your crown of vermin without difficulty, but you gain 1/2 concealment against enemy attacks launched both outside and within your crown of vermin. That's pretty cool. So that's the crown of vermin. Let me know what you all think about that spell in the comments below. Until we all game again, guys.